with the flamenco guitar, a lot of times the melody is actually in the bass line, which is the two strings that I'm missing. So it was a little disconcerting at first to find stuff that was working. But all the rhythm and all the totally fit great on the uke, as well as some of the thumb technique, which turned out being very helpful almost in bluegrass sense. I was doing almost a hammer claw thing. And that worked wonderfully, as long as the top end was going with my finger. And I started to work out some of the chord patterns, which were confusing at first to me, because when you play a D on the guitar, it's actually a G, and then every time I was reading a chart, I'd be playing the wrong chords over and over. But for the most part, when I figured out that if you put a 5th fret capo on a guitar and then take the 2 strings away, you're pretty much good to go. From there, it was great. My favorite thing in the whole world to learn the relationship between your hand and the strings is to put your thumb on the 4th, and then 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and just play arpeggios. This is the most classical thing you can do. You can go backward. And that leads to everything else that you need to know, whether it's a bossa nova strum or tremolo. All that stuff comes from just learning where the strings are and letting your fingers walk over them. Over and I show my students this all the time. Even the bossa nova stuff, you're grabbing the strings together. And that's all pretty easy stuff as long as you physically can feel where the strings are. A lot of people end up doing a lot of bouncy stuff. When you keep them close and you touch them, that's the way I teach, is to learn how to really feel where they are. And let your thumb take the 4th, and then the other ones take the other 3, and you're pretty much good to go. Re-entrant's great. I love recording chord parts with it. You don't have to even think about what chord you're on. I did write a couple of songs that are specifically for re-entrant, and they ended up kind of sounding almost Renaissance, like lute-ish, using the top string for a drone sometimes, and also against moving part. But it'd be on the top there. I love it, and I found that the re-entrant has been super helpful to play the instrument in a different way. Also, playing Hawaiian songs is really helpful. So that's one of the challenges I've had, is to learn some of the older repertoire. It's almost like being a jazz player and having to go back to Kansas City blues and learn the real old stuff.